Good evening, Sunday evening. We've had the final day of Aesthetica Short Film Festival. I'm Ian, this is Jason, and so the last 5 days we've been filmed out, really, haven't we? All of that stuff is
in a good way,
in a very positive way. All that stuff is linked down below. So I went to see two blocks of films today, which we have covered, but we'll get to that at some point. But you went to see something different, did you?
I had a non-film day.
Oh, you went that's right, you did gaming.
I was filmed out. I did 24 films yesterday.
Yeah.
I just thought I needed a day.
So this was a lighter day.
Yes,
really,
indeed.
So
I'll make a start. So I did the VR lab. I finally found.
I wish I'd seen that. I
finally found the Hospitium. So it was upstairs in the Hospitium. Which is interesting. The VR lab, it was future tech in a very old. I don't know how old the building is. I'm sure there's some history to the building.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So that was quite a nice twist. So got there. The room was kind of split into two. So they had mostly the same tech on the ground floor, but he did point out that there was the next generation tech. There was a couple of them that you could try, which were smaller, lighter, more advanced. I didn't get the chance to go on them, but it's evolving that fast was very clear. Yeah. So in the room, it was kind of split into two. So one side of the room was kind of more storytelling, more cinematic. The other side of the room was gaming. Right. Personally, I didn't want to stand there.
Exactly. Yeah,
doing that.
Actually, I did see when I went yesterday. I did see a kid downstairs doing that.
I didn't really want to be looking like a fool. Yeah. So I went for the storytelling. So it started out with, once I kind of figured it out and got in the space and I sat on a stool. I didn't do you can kind of set you can set a perimeter where you can walk in and it understands it. So it says here's where we recommend you kind of stay in your path so you're not it's not hazardous. But I sat on the stool. The first one was called Return to Impressions. So it was about it was an artist who began to lose his sight, and it was a journey he went on. He could see crystal clear. Right. He was a painter. And then he lost his sight. So you were in his flat, his house, his apartment. His wife came in, brought him a cup of tea and stuff, and he was disorientated. Yeah. And you went to the beach. It was on the banks of the River Thames and all of that, but it was diminished. Kind of, you couldn't see everything, right? You knew what you were looking at in terms of a blurred background. So it was interesting because you could sit there and you could look up, look down. Yeah. You were there. It was interesting, landscapes. It was like, I get it. Yeah. So the next one was similar. There was another one where it was landscapes. You were on a beach, waves were rippling, there was mountains, there was stars, and again it was like, I've done this now. This is everything I expect VR to be. Yeah. So then there was a nice quick 5-minute movie called Stall, which was thought-provoking. It was a teenage girl had her first period, and her mum and dad are outside of the bathroom. You were her. Oh wow! Sitting in the bathroom, and then it quickly chopped to other bathrooms. Then you were in a bathroom in a club, and you was in a bathroom in all of these places, and you had that dilemma. Gosh. So didn't really, wasn't for me. But it was interesting. Yeah. Then I did another one which was called Passive Power, which got nominated today actually. So it was just lots of high tech visuals, a guy dancing in front of you. It was okay. To be honest, it felt like those movies in the late 90s when you'd come home from a rave or a club and people would put it on VHS and it was all the spirals and 3D effects. It was kind of a little bit like that. So I found the fast forward button. I have to say. Right, okay, yeah. And then I went random and I went for Hunter Gatherer, and that was amazing. It was mind blowing. So you were in the jungle with a tribe. It was like the inhabitants of a village. There was children, there was their pet dogs, there was even like a big cat was lying on the floor next to you. Wow. You could see it breathing and everything. So at first you were in the jungle on your own, and they come by you, and they come right by you, and you have to follow them around to what they're doing in the hunting. And it was about 15 minutes long. I had to drop into different scenes. But each scene was probably 3 or 4 minutes where it really immersed you in. That sounds brilliant. So the first one, they come by you, and I was like, okay, I get this. And I was like, okay, it's going to be more scenery. I'm in the jungle, I'm in the mountains. But then it cut, and then I was sitting at a campfire with 8 or 9. They were all males sitting around the campfire, and there was some young and old, and they were all just chatting. They were all chatting. They were passing the smoke around. They were kind of keeping the fire going. You could tell that it was, it seemed very, very genuine.
Yeah.
And I was there. I could smell what they were smoking.
Right.
It was really like I was completely immersed in it. And then so I fast forwarded because I was running out of time. So then they went and did some more hunting, and they caught a wild boar. There was a part, and again it was a cut scene. I joined it at a cut scene, and I was up a tree. I was up a tree with my mate who was foraging for, I don't know, some sap or something out of a hollow in the tree. And I was like, and you could look around and you're like, whoa, I'm up a tree. And there was, a big scene going on beneath you. It was like amazing. Wow. So for me, I don't want to play games. I don't want to, swat flies.
Yeah.
But an amazing way to watch a movie, to watch a documentary, or to some other things that we've watched this week, the documentaries, the thrillers, the experimental, to watch shorts with the headset on and be inside the film, I think would be. That's what I want to do.
I only experienced it probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I saw, and obviously it was much more wireframe in those days, but going up a roller coaster and then stopping at the roller coaster and then looking all around me. Yeah. I did feel vertigo, and then being inside a house, because it was about designing for 3D house, 3D architecture, and walking around the house, because you could actually move forward with that, and by just leaning forward it would know. And it was very early. It was Quest was the actual handset, which was obviously taken over by Meta, wasn't it? And being in the cinema and actually looking around the cinema was quite something. A big cinema, big American cinema. So I have experienced some of it, but
it's moved on so much.
It's moved on. So I'm going to say it wasn't very realistic.
Imagine what it'll be 5 years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be insane. Yeah. But yeah, really, really good. I think that's kind of, for me, that's how I'd like to watch a film, to be honest. Headset on, earphones, and be right in the centre of it and choose where you go. I don't know whether will it become a decision-making thing at the end, so you end up generating your own story, right? Like computer games was, if you open that door, you go here. Do you want to proceed, yes or no? I wonder whether VR will. I've
played a few games that are like that. There's one called Detroit Being Human, where you play a robot. There's actually 3. I think you've got 3 storylines going on, and you make decisions throughout the game. And every time you play it, you can come up with different decisions based on what you decide to do. I actually haven't got to the end of it yet, but I will play it again once I finish Last of Us. And that was quite interesting. Doing that in VR, where you are playing a character or a robot or something,
and you shape how the film evolves. Could be powerful. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see, because it's quickly evolving, right? It's new technology. It's very emerging. Just being really interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Definite highlight for me, the Hunters.
I wish I'd only got there yesterday and then didn't have time to actually book a session. So it's a pity that so next year I will definitely probably try and do that right at the beginning, because it'll have moved on in a year. Yeah. I went to see. I didn't realise I was seeing something that you'd already seen, but the first thing I picked was Short Circuit, which was Thriller 2, which we have covered already, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I knew I couldn't see all of it because I was trying to get to a session at York St John, which was what was it called? That was again it was the Experimental 5. Come on to that, but. The 5 films that I saw, and we have covered them, I thought they were all really, really good. Yeah. And it was probably, as a block of films. Sometimes some of the films would be better than others, but to see, and like I said, I didn't see Rat. That was the last one to come out of. But I'm glad I got to see all of those 5. Because I thought they were excellent.
They all complemented each other.
They did, yeah. And I agree with you about Wired, the first one. And I wish I could remember the name of the Julie Christie movie from the 60s, where similar sort of setup where the house controls what's going on. We're in that's a reality. We've all got Ring systems and things like that now, which would dim the lights, please. Siri or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so we're already in that world. But
so Wired, that first
Wired
one
was great.
I noted it, and I didn't mention last time, but it was done by one of the Hartnell brothers.
I saw that.
And you could tell.
Yeah.
You could
the soundtrack
tell
was really
throughout the
good.
movie.
Yeah.
You could tell it was them. They had their signature on it. But
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
really liked that. And then hot-footed it from there, which was at Screen 1, City Screen, to stopped on my way for
You're going to get the cinnamon bun in.
Cinnamon bun and a mocha from my favourite lady. And went to Experimental 5, which obviously you had seen, and I saw all of them, although they actually, interestingly, they did overrun by a good 10 minutes this time. It sort of started on time. I don't quite know why it overran that to that extent. And I know that you really liked all of these.
I liked Patient. I did like all of them, but Patient was really good. The Square the Circle was my
I mean, actually, I
just visually stunning.
I liked. She was talking Finnish, wasn't she? I liked her voice. I stopped reading what she was saying, and to me, what she was saying didn't matter.
That's how I felt it. I just
followed it, and visually, it was amazing. The 3D camera thing and all of that sort of was quite something. Because I have background with Patient in the sense of being a university lecturer in health sciences in a previous lifetime and actually doing those type of exams, although in England rather than America, I was less engaged with that. And the fact that I don't want to say too much for people to see it did seem like it wasn't real to me. I know you felt it was real.
Interesting.
But I felt it was a story that I was being told, which I was
already familiar with.
From one of the characters.
Lead lady, she was very good, the lead lady.
Actually, the actors were great. And actually, one of the actors, I won't say what's going on, what happens to her, because but it didn't feel like it was a real. The one that for me was outstanding was, and you joked about it in our other video, the story of the nail. What I really liked about it was the fact that it was random. So you've seen the clips of the film, because it said at the sides. And what I wanted to know was, did we actually see the same film? We'd have to probably talk to the director. Was this just a recording of it, or was it still a random film? Because it had this, what shots were. I wish I'd taken a picture. We both needed to take a picture of the frames to see whether it was actually the same film. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it, and I loved the mechanics of it. I loved the fact that it was sad that this little factory closed down in 2022. But that was a highlight, and that was nominated.
It was, yeah.
It didn't win, but it was nominated. We did go to the award ceremony tonight, which we'll talk about in a. So and after that, you didn't do anything else apart from those. Or did you go to something else?
I went to the basement and the city screen to the sound installation.
Oh yes, which we had looked at.
Yeah, so we went there at the. We went there at the. It was the first thing we did actually when we arrived. Wasn't it? It was how we got our bearings actually.
Exactly, it was.
Turned up at the city screen. We went down to the basement. It was the sound installation. I think there was eight speakers, and there were 8 speakers. Yeah. So there was a speaker for each person within the film. We stayed for about 15 minutes at the beginning, right? And it was it was interesting. Yeah. But I went back today, and the creator, because there was a piano there, right? There was a Casio piano there. And we're like, what's going on there? So this sound installation was running every single day from 10 in the morning till 8 at night or something. But between 2 or 3 each day, the creator would accompany the dialogue of this 40-minute film with piano.
Right.
Now, when we saw it at the beginning, it was the backing track on what we were doing. But today, she played it live for the 40 minutes, and she played it. It was kind of it was reminded me of Satay, really.
So it was
nice,
better.
It was all nice, kind of flowing, kind of tempo. But she played it all. She knew where the cues were, obviously in a film. But she was playing it well. Her eyes were closed most of the time. And she was going up and down the keyboard. You could just tell intrinsically she knew what she was doing. It was really good. She did it, passionate. There was 2 of us in there. There was a girl asleep on the beanbags, and there was me on the bench. Yeah. Somebody came and left, but even so, she still gave a performance. She played the piano extremely well, put everything into it.
Yeah.
Kept the tempo right, you know, it was all low tempo, but she knew when to pick it up, knew
Yeah.
when to drop it down to accompany what was going on. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it, and you know, fair play to her sitting there for the whole week.
Yeah,
Going
exactly.
over that.
Doing it every day. Yeah.
So it was good. It was very
Jess,
good.
the cat's just arrived. Now. I've got stuff in her. Yeah, Jess, if you want to sit down there. No, she's off again. Because cats own the house, don't they? There's 2 cats here, and, you know. And anyway,
So that was good. That was a really nice chill out. It was
Yeah.
a nice afternoon chill out. That was before we got to the awards ceremony.
yeah. So I had to really hot foot it because the show I had like half. I thought I would have half an hour after Experimental 5, but I didn't. I literally had 15 minutes to get. Luckily, I knew shortcuts. It was at the Yorkshire Museum. We were queuing outside for a bit, and we all went in. It's a good room, isn't it? We managed to get a good seat. I know exactly where the best seat is in the place, and that's why I went on ahead, because I knew roughly where to sit. I was going to try and keep the next seat next to me for you. And we don't want to say too much about the award ceremony because I filmed all of it. I didn't film all of it. I filmed all of the nominations and who won. So I will put that together in a separate video. It'll probably be tomorrow or Tuesday by the time, because there's a lot to put together there. But we'll leave all of that. I didn't bother with the speeches that are people when the award speeches, but you'll get to see what was nominated and actually what won. And they did show a little clip of all of the ones that were nominated, which was quite useful.
There's a couple of people in the room that won 2 awards.
Yeah,
which
there
is
were.
good.
Yeah,
The person in the room won the best of the
best
fest,
of the fest. Yeah,
which was good.
yeah. And it was a really good night. It was a couple of hours. And
Well organised.
very well
As it-
organised. Yeah. As
the
the whole thing
event.
has been brilliantly organised, really.
Right.
And it's been really quite nice to see people wandering around with the lanyards on. Mine's dropped off again. I've still got it, but you know. And actually, it did say in this is the second one, which I have stuck together with sellotape, and it's still broken. But actually, it does say it said that these are that this is recyclable, and if you do break it off, just go back in and they'll give you another one.
Okay.
So you could have done that with yours, right? You've got loads of multiple holes in yours. Yeah. So, but no, the whole festival has been brilliant, really. And I'm sorry it's over. Although it's not totally over, because we can watch all of the films online. And so certainly some of the films that I had to walk out of because we were going to something else, or when I arrived late, I'm going to go back and look at them. But also we can look at certainly some of the award-winning films as well.
We didn't touch the surface really.
No,
we've had
didn't.
5 days. We've crammed a lot in.
Yeah,
But there's still so much we've missed.
yeah, there is, and you can, and anybody can do it. So you can sign up now, and you can see it till the end of November the 30th. It's also worth mentioning, if I just grab. Sorry, I'll just hold on to that a second. I just want to grab a copy of this. So, Aesthetica, I have said this before, but Aesthetica is a bi-monthly magazine. And I just today, before setting off to the festival, I thought, I don't know how much the subscription is for the year. And amazing, normally it's about £48 plus shipping, so 50 quid, which I still think is reasonable for a very high quality magazine. It's, you know, you get some fantastic pictures. But for this month, you can subscribe on the Aesthetica website for £12. So £12 plus £9 to ship in the UK. It will, obviously shipping outside of the UK will be slightly more, but it's an absolute bargain. So I have signed up and I have a subscription starting with I started with the December one. That'll be the next one that comes out, because the October one is November is already out. It'll be December, January will be the next one. That'll be my first episode, my first edition, and I'm looking forward to that because it's great. They do reviews. They tell you what arts are on around the world. Really, they've got. I mean, certainly in one of these that I've been looking at, they've got stuff on it in London at Tate Modern and Barcelona and all over the. So wherever you are in the world, if there is some art going on, the Aesthetica magazine will probably tell you about it. So I'm looking forward to that, really. You know, art and culture. It's fantastic. Buy it. Get a subscription. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. It's a good 5 days, right?
Absolutely fantastic 5 days.
And York's been great.
York, I mean, actually...
You wouldn't say anything else, but...
Well, you know, actually...
I'm sold.
No, I have to say, you know, being here, born and bred, I appreciate my hometown more. Because, you know, now I've moved away, actually coming back to York for 5 days, I've absolutely loved it. I mean, I felt a little bit homesick when we went to the Mum the other night, and I bumped into all my old mates, and then we've seen other friends as well. We've seen Dave, I think, last night. But actually, just wandering around the town, I have absolutely loved, you know, just being home. It feels like home. You know, I have another home, but this will always be home. Your hometown is always your home, really, isn't it?
Indeed,
you know,
indeed.
when you've grown up here. So
yes, I've been very impressed.
Yeah.
Really nice city.
Yeah.
Really,
it's
lots to
been
do.
absolutely fantastic.
Can't believe how many pubs there are. I had to try a few of them.
Oh, well, it's a prerequisite, you know. You've got to go one a day. You've got to stay for a year and go one.
You could.
Apparently, York still has 365 pubs, one for each day of the year. I'm not so sure that's true anymore, but it always said that. So, but come and try the pubs. Lots of coffee shops as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, all good, very good.
So there's more to come. So I will put together the one about the award ceremony. We will be getting back together probably towards the end of the week to pick. We'll pick our top 5 films, I think.
I think so.
And you know,
bit of a recap.
5 films each. Best 5 films of the festival. And if we do that by the end of the week, and even if you haven't signed up, by the end of the week you've still got a good 3 weeks. 3 weeks to see it. We're still at the beginning of the month, so that you can sign up and just have a look at all of the, you know. So, but yes. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye bye.
Cheers.